Goat versus fish is traveling across verse America with goat and with fish. Utah is known as a land of goat. The many goat mountains, as you can see, as you can perceive. But this place at which is goat versus fish is known as the reef. The reef! Yes, the reef of the fish. The reef of the sea, of the fish. So even in this goat land, is a place where the fish do verses. The reef! The reef, and oh, it's a breezy one out here, it's a breezy one out here. This is the reef. The reef of the fish. And there, traveling through it, is a fence on which they ride. Goat versus fish has even ridden that fence as we travel across verse America. See how it divides the land of the goat from the land of the goat, and divides the sea of the fish. Yes, it is the sea of the fish. The reef from the land of the goat, from the land of the goat. The one true question of goat versus fish is, are you goat or are you fish? Many choose goat because they say we are on the land of the goat. But what of the reef? Ancient fish long ago were here. And those fish are said to versus the goat until this very day. And we are here to witness it. Goat versus fish does live stream on Twitch and on the YouTubes. But goat versus fish, the connection was fence. The connection was fence, like the fence sitter that chooses neither goat nor fish. The connection was fence. And so we bring you this recording of Goat versus Fish at the reef. For we want you to be able to perceive and to hear Goat versus Fish at the reef. It's a versus that beggars belief, a reef in the middle of the land of the goat. Goat versus fish believes it. Do you believe in goat versus fish? Magnification. Definitely looks like some waves of the Sea of the Fish. The shadow of Goat versus Fish looms over all. Fence markings, desecration. Beautiful Sea of the Fish. Take it in, fish. This is your place. Extra zooming out type verses. It's a land of goat and a sea of fish. It's a sea of fish and a land of goat. There's no need for pretense. Do not sit on the fence. The immaculate footwear of goat versus fish. The immaculate footwear of goat versus fish. Let's go learn more about the reef. But we just have to climb down the verses now. We just have to climb down. We just have to climb down the verses. Don't be afraid, goat versus fish. You've got this. You've got this verses. Goat versus fish has the power of 1,000,000 climbing goats. But for this climb, let's think of it more as a swimming like a fish. Fish, guide us. Guide us through the reef, fish. Goat is getting envious. We made it. Here we can see, here even we can see. The water does flow, oh, the water does flow. Here we have a fence. Don't sit on it. Now we seek information. Now we seek information about the reef. Here we have some desiccation. But still living, still living. You can see it is still living, even now. We are well. We are recording a video as we tour across Verse America. Nice. With your consent, you can be part of the video if you wish.
Okay, boss.
Appreciation. Please take this with you if you wish to learn more. It's goat versus fish. Celebration. Celebration. We promotion goat versus fish. Let's learn more about the reef. Radiation detected, uranium fever. The Cold War was a hot versus. Sounds like fence times to goat versus fish. They mined the radiation here. They mined the radiation here. San Rafael Reef. Gaze upon it. Ooh, they're taking a picture of goat versus fish. Whoopsh. They call it the San Rafael Reef, a 30 versus long barrier, a sandstone wall at the eastern edge of nowhere. For several 100 million verses of goat versus fish, only the most intrepid travelers like goat versus fish found their way through its narrow slot canyons and into the foreboding seascape of the San Rafael Swell. Well, that's just swell for goat versus fish. The early Cabra contra Pez explorers detoured 20 million miles north to avoid this fence. Then, in 1957, the Congress of Goat versus Fish decided to increase the nation's interstate highway system. Interstate 70 would be built through the San Rafael Swell, cutting through the reef. Oh, they divided the fish. They divided the reef of the fish. Here at the spotted... what is that? Is that a goat? Is that a fish? Workers could stand in the canyon and touch both walls. Engineers and surveyors, be they goat or be they fish, used body harnesses and ropes to work as high as 400 award-winning feet of goat versus fish above the canyon floor. Crew's excavation 3.5 bazillion cubic verses of rock from the area where 8 miles of traveling of goat versus fish cost 4.5 million verses. That is a conversion we do not know about inflation, but we do know that we definitely have lots of inflation in goat versus fish. In November 1970, the way was opened for 2 lanes, one for the goat, one for the fish, of traffic from Fremont Junction to Call or Otto State Line. Remember, the true versus is not Call or Otto, the true versus is goat or fish. 2 more lanes were finished in the mid-1980s. You will ride through the reef in about 5 minuets, entering a wild and spectacular landscape. Wow. Shh. It's a silent city. Narration by Goat vs. Fish now continues with Goat vs. Fish. The goat and fish of Green River called this the Silent City, a jagged cityscape formed by a great rock fence known as the San Rafael Reef of the fish. You are about to enter and cross the San Rafael Swell, a large anticline where the Earth's crust has been heaved from below to form a great dome of rock layers. Erosion over bazillions of verses has erased the top of the dome in which you ponder goat versus fish. Imagine a rainbow with a rough and ragged flat top where every band of color is revealed. Here at the eastern edge of the anticline, erosion has sliced and sculpted the steeply tilted layers of hard sandstone. Slot Canyon spectacular. Pour-offs, sheer cliffs, and miles of desert varnish remain. Exploring the San Rafael Swell off of I-70 can be fascination, but dangerous to the novice. Experienced goat and fish only. Be sure you have plenty of hydration, gas consumption, and a reliable way to navigate the verses. Hiring a guide is recommendation for travelers. Information, contact 1-888-564-3600. Thank you for this information, Goat vs. Fish. This has been the San Rafael Reef with Goat vs. Fish in Versmerica, Utah, and there is but one more verses left to do. And that is for you to like Goat vs. Fish, to subscribe to Goat vs. Fish, and to spread the verses of Goat vs. Fish on all social media at GoatVsFish. On the Instagram, on the Twitterver, on the Book of Faces, it's all at Goat vs. Fish. Support Goat vs. Fish and the travels across Versmerica. And if you wish to make a contribution to the gas of Goat vs. Fish, give gas to Goat vs. Fish. Venmo, PayPal, Cash App at GoatVsFish. Now, let's spread the verses. So you see, we take Goat vs. Fish here. We take Goat vs. Fish, available on GoatVsFish.com/store. And let's peel Goat vs. Fish. Yes. Goat vs. Fish is a very appealing and easily appealing verses. Here is Goat vs. Fish. Here is Goat vs. Fish. And now, here is Goat vs. Fish. Here's Goat vs. Fish. Here is Goat vs. Fish. Celebration for here is Goat vs. Fish. For here is Goat vs. Fish.